13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears on the lawsuit, the suffering, and the alleged events that changed a young family forever.
You wouldn't know by looking, but Brandon Nichols is feeding his son Jaden, not by handing him Cheerios like he does with daughter Jana. 14-month-old Jaden is fed through a tube because his brain can't grasp the concept of eating. The little boy sleeps through the process as dad gently rocks him to the quiet whoosh of the machine. Jaden can't take a bath, play with his twin sister, crawl, or even swallow. He can barely hold up his own head. After years of trying to get pregnant, in vitro fertilization finally gave Lauren and Brandon the family of their dreams. But the twins came a bit too soon. Jaden and Jana were born March 27th, 2019 at 32.5 weeks. Jana turned out to be fine. As for Jaden,
we knew that he had heart defect early on at 12 weeks.
A defect that would require 3 surgeries after birth. After the last one on May 10th, Jaden was recovering with help from a breathing tube.
Within 5 days, they wanted to take the breathing tube out.
That should have been a good sign that Jaden was getting stronger.
But that's when the story took a turn for the worse, unfortunately.
According to the family's lawsuit filed in April against Jaden's doctors, nurses, and Sunrise Hospital, there were problems almost immediately. The suit alleges that on May 15th, just an hour after Jaden's breathing tube was taken out, lab results showed a critical chemical imbalance in his blood, making it too acidic. 5 lab results from throughout that day showed the same critical lab values, which the suit says required immediate attention and re-intubation as Jaden's body wasn't getting enough oxygen.
About 4 or 5 hours had gone by, and I didn't get another phone call saying that they re-intubated.
She called Brandon, who left work and raced to the hospital.
I walked in, I knew within seconds something is wrong. He's sweating, he is gasping. I'm looking at him, and he just takes that big breath, and that's it.
After hours of oxygen deprivation, baby Jaden stopped breathing. Code blue. The lawsuit says nurses reported the critical lab values but didn't act because they couldn't reach Dr. James Andrus and Dr. Parvin Darostkar.
I don't know what excuse on earth you could possibly have for that. Call anybody. Literally call anybody. You know, they are a children's hospital. They had a pediatric ER downstairs.
Neither the doctors nor anyone at Sunrise Hospital would comment due to the pending litigation, and they have not filed an answer yet in court. Attorney Matthew Hoffman says after Jaden went into cardiac arrest, the medical staff finally did something.
You shouldn't need somebody to literally die before all of a sudden they get the intervention that they needed all along.
The lawsuit says doctors cracked open Jaden's tiny rib cage to do finger compressions on his failing heart.
And the doctor comes out to me and tells me, you know, I'm so sorry. It's been 90 minutes that he's been pulseless. There's nothing more we can do. The nurses are going to get him cleaned up so you can hold him one last time.
Lauren had to call her husband to tell him the unthinkable.
I say, he's gone. He's gone.
I mean, I was downstairs for maybe 10 to 15 minutes thinking my child had passed away because I couldn't get the energy, or my legs wouldn't carry me just, you know, up to an elevator. I couldn't do it.
Then the emotional roller coaster took another sharp turn.
Doctor comes back out to me and says that he lifted his arm up when they were taking his leads off. He lifted up his arm, and all of a sudden they felt and he had a pulse.
It was the lowest point of my life, and then it was the highest point of my life because he was back.
But Jaden wasn't the same, and he never will be. Medical experts who submitted these opinions in the lawsuit say given Jaden's history of being born with a defective heart and all the surgeries, the critical lab values were especially concerning because they indicated that the heart wasn't pumping enough blood to the rest of his body. The experts who reviewed Jaden's medical records for the lawsuit go on to say that when doctors failed to appropriately respond, nurses failed to advocate for their patient. The experts call that not only negligent, but a conscious disregard for Jaden's health and safety, which led to the alleged catastrophic brain damage.
Jaden Nichols is alive today despite the medical treatment he got, not because of it. They declared him dead They told his parents he was dead. And while they were preparing him to be seen by his parents, he spontaneously survived. They didn't save him. He saved himself. That's a miracle. And now he's got to pay the consequences of it, and so do his parents.
Parents who may never hear their son talk or see him walk as they face a lifetime of medical bills, therapy, and heartache.
They did rob us. They robbed him. You get one life, you get one chance. And he was okay until that day, until they didn't put that tube back down and help him breathe.
In Jaden's face each day, they see the success of life and the alleged failure of those who were supposed to take care of him. Darcy Spears,